Hello and welcome to The Movie Show, a treasure trove of movie treats for you this week. We are more stuffed with booty than Kim Kardashian's leggings. Coming up in a silly headwear special, Russell Brand in a top hat. There's some kind of rat with a feather, brilliant. And, oh, come on, Alex, a hoodie's just not silly enough, is it? Plus, of course, the box office chart and all of your gossip too. First, though, the fifth Fast and Furious film, excitingly titled Fast and Furious 5, Rio Heist in the UK, has a much more simple title in America, where they can only remember Fast 5. Presumably they want to spend less time talking in order to spend more time eating.
Real funny.
There is, however, a twist in the casting. Co-starring alongside Vin and Paul Walker is The Rock. I know, the actual Rock. He's playing a cop on the hunt for the rubber-burning bad boys, now hanging out in Brazil.
You're going down, Toretto.
I'm right here. The fact that there's that fight scene between Dom and Hobbs is an event in cinema, let alone just the Fast and Furious. That's just too juicy and too much fun.
He's a unique guy just in terms of the job that he has and the job that he embraces, the job that he loves, and that is, I find men and I hunt them down and I bring them in. Dead or alive, that's going to be up to them.
One's a former federal officer, spent 5 years in deep cover. The other one's a professional criminal, escaped prison twice. We find them, we take them as a team, and we bring them back. And above all else, we don't ever, ever let them get into cars.
You know how some films can be so brain-numbingly awful and yet so pant-wettingly brilliant at the same time? Well, that's Fast and Furious 5, the most ridiculous entry yet in a petrolhead franchise that, let's be honest, has already had its fair share of ridiculous moments. The acting is terrible. Paul Walker only seeming to manage vacant stares and, well, just vacant stares, actually. Vin Diesel, meanwhile, a man who's more and more resembling a potato with stubble, just looks like he can't be bothered. And then there's Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne. With his sweaty, shaved head and bristly goatee, he looks less like he should be in an action film, more in some men-only club in Soho, gyrating in a cage to a Lady Gaga remix. He takes bad acting so far, it comes out the other side and becomes brilliant. Truly amazing. But none of that really matters. It's about the action, right? And after an average first half hour, Fast 5 turns into an Ocean's 11 style heist pick, with familiar faces from previous F&Fs like Ludacris and Tyrese rocking up to help Vin and Paul steal $100 million from a Brazilian crime lord. And that's when the gags begin and the tyres start screeching, and all of a sudden we're in a brilliantly dumb crime caper packed with OTT fight scenes, never-ending car chases and hilariously bad serious moments with all the emotional weight you'd expect from men who clearly take too many protein shakes. There's even a Vin versus Rock fight scene that's half WrestleMania, half Brokeback Mountain. So you'll laugh your socks off, but man, you will be excited too. It's yin and yang, it's awful yet amazing. The best worst film of the year. 4 stars. Right, Russell Brand and Helen Mirren coming up in a sec. First, the artist formerly known as Gabriella from High School Musical.
You know, the truly ridiculous thing is I might have kind of sort of actually thought he a little bit liked me.
Yep, it's another week, and there's another Vanessa Hudgens film. Sucker Punch, of course, still out there. Just. Now V. Hudge stars in Beastly. This is a reboot of the Beauty and the Beast tale, with Alex Pettyfer as the arrogant pretty boy turned minger by a witch's curse. That witch is actually played by an Olsen twin. Amazing. V. Hudge plays Lindy, a name that only exists in American teen movies. And even though Alex looks like he's had a 5-year-old with a felt tip draw all over his face, she still can't get enough. Love is blind, eh?
I've seen worse.
Pretty gruesome, huh?
So, can Rio make it 2 weeks on top of the chart? Fear not, all will be revealed ASAP. Before that, here's Russell Brand and Dame Helen Mirren in Arthur. Now, this is a remake of an old 80s movie about a childlike, drunk millionaire playboy who has a difficult decision to make: grow up or lose your inheritance. Russ is the title character, Dame H, his nanny, and Jennifer Garner, the power-hungry minx he's being forced to marry.
There's a macabre conspiracy to inveigle me into a loveless marriage. Susan, we should not get married. We don't have anything in common, do we? I mean, you love horses.
I do.
I don't trust them.
Yes, but if you
It's
think
their
about
eyes,
this
their
is a
sneaky
business.
feet.
Stay with me.
Their shoes are permanent.
All you have to
Who makes that kind of a commitment
We
to
get
a
on.
shoe?
I have always wondered about kissing scenes in movies. Exactly
What do you wonder?
Well, I wonder, you know, just how real it is, because I know you're obviously acting, we all know that, but at the same time, you know, you're still snogging someone.
Yeah, everything's acting really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just like, I think, right, don't act, just snog them. Like, you could do that in anything. The fight scene, just think, oh, give them a dig. Like, at any point, you could just stop acting and say stuff, especially if you're making things up while you're going along. No one knows.
You're exec producer of this movie, aren't you? What does that involve?
It means at some point someone writes my name next to the words executive producer, and then I get asked that question. But it also means I get a bit more, I get to boss people around a bit. Not much really, just go, oh hey, don't put that there, put it over there a bit more.
So right from the beginning, when someone first mooted the idea, or maybe you had the idea, you wanted to be on board as
It's just common, producer. I think, in this line of work that they get made an executive producer if a project is brought to you at the point of inception. I don't mean the film Inception, on which I'm not an executive producer, though I will be claiming some of the credit. Van going into a pond. Van going into a pond.
Still going into the pond.
When's that van going to go in the pond? Oh, they've gone skiing now, like all James Bondy. I'm confused.
You have some amazing costumes in the movie, Arthur.
They're good. I'm taking credit for them.
Yeah, well, exec producer.
I exec produced those costumes.
Yeah. Any favourites? I mean, there's
the red one when I'm in the DeLorean out of Back to the Future. That red jacket, because it's like I said, do things that are like an English gent. That's like jodhpurs and hunting gear, innit? Not that I'm into hunting as a vegetarian. I don't think you should kill things for a bit of a laugh or a sandwich.
Now, this movie, and actually Hop, which is still out, doing very well, family-friendly films. I think it's a 12A certificate, isn't it, Arthur?
It's a certificate?
Yeah.
Nice.
Certificate, 12A.
I've got a certificate for swimming.
Was that a conscious decision to make more kind of family-friendly stuff? Because, I mean, you used to be fairly adults-only, didn't you?
Yeah, just for the old adults. I mean, I've always liked playing with children and everything, but like when I do stuff on the telly, I'd be so much going on about sex or death or like annihilating the state that a child wouldn't be into it. But now, if you're talking about, I don't know, bums or something, the child will enjoy it. These are both films that are sort of romantic, and I think, yeah, for family oriented, I think Arthur's safe to take a kid to it.
Right, I will fess up, I didn't actually laugh that much watching Arthur, but the rest of the audience really did. OK, they'd maybe had a bit to drink. But even so, I admit that Arthur is an easy, no-nonsense, inoffensive watch. But that's surely the problem.
That was no trouble.
This is Russell Brand. He made his name by being complicated and confusing and offensive. That's what makes him so exciting. To see him in a boringly straightforward movie, more suited to the cutesy charm of, I don't know, Adam Sandler, is like seeing him castrated. Which probably a lot of people would like to see.
I am a grown man. Don't let that undermine what I just said.
And the cutesiness is the worst thing about Arthur. Now, get him to the Greek with Russell Brand. That worked because it had the courage to go all out and be 100% proof, unfiltered rock and roll. Arthur has way too many awful, kooky interludes, mainly featuring Naomi, the ditzy tour guide who loves vintage dresses, Pepe Le Pew cartoons, and thinks the moon follows her around, and with whom Arthur falls hopelessly in love. It is a syrup overload. Now, Dame Helen's okay, she's all grey suits and sensible shoes, the no-nonsense nanny with the odd great one-liner.
Ow! That really hurt! If he's not out of this ring 1 minute, I'll bite your other ear off.
But seeing the dangerous brilliance of Russell Brand in an average rom-com is like seeing your gran squeeze into high heels and a miniskirt. It's just not right. Mind you, if your gran looked like Helen Mirren, anyway. Just 2 stars for Arthur. Right then, here's this week's numbers and names. It's the top 5 at the box office.
My name's E.B. I'm just an ordinary kid with 2 sticks and a dream.
It's Easter, it's the school holidays, it's Russell Brand as a drum-loving rabbit who runs away to LA to become a rock star, obviously. The average hop is at 5. One of my favourite games is Guess Which Accent Gary Oldman is doing now. It's so much fun. Certainly the most fun you'll have watching Red Riding Hood. It's new at 4.
It made you think he'd lived on Mount Ramore so that you would not look for it in the most obvious place.
Woo! Courtney, will you make funny faces to entertain me? No, never triangle face. I hate triangle face. It scares me.
Another new entry at 3. This time it's Danny McBride's medieval willy joke frenzy, Your Highness.
Just say we are too late. And Lazar was able to get her cookies.
And in second place, the Ice Age boys go to South America. The colourful but kind of average Rio is at 2. And straight in at the top, definitely not brought to you in association with Botox, it's Courtney Cox in the fun Scream 4. Part 1, we are done. After the break, we travel to strange and far-off lands, the mystical Narnia, the futuristic Tron, and scariest of all, the Isle of Man. See you in a sec.